She said she was too busy, but something didn't feel right. Every lie, every secret was closer than he ever imagined. What would you do if the two people you trusted most betrayed you? Ethan Blake had never believed in fairy tales until he met Sophia Miller. She came into his life like a burst of sunlight on a cloudy day. With her bright laughter, wild dreams, and that fearless spark in her eyes, Sophia made the world feel bigger, brighter, and more alive. Ethan felt like he had finally found someone who saw him, truly saw him, not just as a quiet guy working his way through college, but as someone capable of great things. They spent late nights on rooftops, watching city lights flicker like stars fallen to earth. They made promises, real ones, about traveling the world, building a future, maybe even starting a family someday. Ethan believed in all of it. In her. In them. For the first time, he wasn't scared of the future. He was excited. But love has a way of changing quickly. Too quickly for the heart to understand. It started small, a shift so subtle Ethan almost missed it. Sophia stopped calling first. Their long conversations faded into brief replies. She was always busy. "Sorry, work's insane tonight. My mom needs me. I'm too tired, maybe tomorrow." Ethan tried not to worry. Relationships go through phases. That's what everyone says. But something deeper was happening. Sophia stopped meeting his eyes when they talked. She smiled less, at least around him. And when Ethan reached for her hand, she would gently pull away, as if his touch burned. One day, he surprised her at her favorite coffee shop, something that used to make her light up with delight. But instead, she froze, startled, like she had been caught doing something she shouldn't. "Oh, Ethan, I didn't expect you," she said, forcing a smile that never reached her eyes. Her phone buzzed. Once. Twice. Repeatedly. She flipped it over instantly, screen hidden. "Everything okay?" Ethan asked. "Yeah, work stuff. I told you, I'm just overwhelmed these days." Then she stood up quickly, hugging him in a hurry, a hug that felt like goodbye. As she walked away, Ethan watched the distance growing between them, a distance wider than any physical space. He still loved her, but love wasn't being returned anymore. And his heart whispered a terrifying question. Was Sophia hiding something or someone? The shift in Sophia's behavior became impossible to ignore. Days went by with no messages from her. Then, suddenly, she'd reply with a quick emoji or a single sentence. "Sorry, super busy." It felt cold, mechanical, like someone reaching out because they felt obligated, not because they cared. Still, Ethan tried to convince himself it was temporary. Stress, burnout, life. But his heart knew better. One evening, while scrolling through social media, more out of boredom than curiosity, something caught his eye. Sophia had posted a story, a cheerful boomerang video of her laughing, a drink in hand at some trendy rooftop bar. The caption? "Finally a night out." Night out. She told him she was going to bed early. His stomach twisted into a knot. Ethan tapped on the story again, slowing it down, inspecting every detail. As she turned her head in laughter, a blurry figure came into view beside her. A man, broad shoulders, wearing a familiar jacket, black leather with a worn collar. A jacket that looked a lot like Ryan's. No, it couldn't be. Ryan was his older brother, loyal, trusted, practically his best friend. The idea felt too painful to entertain. So, Ethan pushed the thought away. But more signs followed. Sophia now avoided phone calls entirely. When she did answer, her voice was rushed and distant, as if she was reading from a script. "Can we talk later? I'm out with coworkers." "You're overthinking." Yet her social media told a different story. New photos, new places, new happiness. Just not with him. One night, Ethan decided to surprise her with dinner. Her favorite takeout, pad thai with extra peanuts. He waited outside her apartment, excitement blending with worry. 30 minutes passed. An hour. He texted her, "Here, can we talk?" No response. Just as he was about to leave, he saw her, across the street, laughing again, but not alone. That same man stood close, too close. Sophia's head rested on his shoulder like it belonged there. His heart cracked silently. He couldn't see the man's face, but the jacket was unmistakable this time. Ryan's jacket. His pulse pounded, his breath caught. The suspicion that once felt paranoid now felt painfully real. Something was happening behind his back, and the betrayal was closer than he ever imagined. After that night outside her apartment, Ethan felt like his world no longer made sense. He lay awake, staring at the ceiling, replaying every moment with Sophia, every kiss, every promise, every "I love you." Had all of it been a lie? Or had he simply stopped being enough for her? The next morning, Sophia sent him a casual text. "Sorry, fell asleep early. How's your day?" His hands froze over the screen. He wanted to believe her. Oh, how badly he wanted to. But lies have a way of leaving marks. Small, undeniable details that refuse to disappear. Later that day, Ethan saw yet another photo posted by Sophia. She was at a restaurant, a cozy, dimly lit place with rustic wooden walls and string lights floating like tiny stars. A place Ethan recognized instantly. Why? Because it was Ryan's favorite restaurant. The spot he always bragged about discovering, the place he took every girl he ever liked, calling it his good luck charm. Sophia sat in the picture smiling at the camera, happiness radiating from her, a spark he hadn't seen in months. Ethan zoomed in, focusing on the blurred reflection in the polished metal behind her. A shadow, tall and broad, leaning too close. One hand, unmistakably male, rested near her glass. His chest tightened. It wasn't just anyone. It looked exactly like Ryan's hand. The same wristwatch, the same tattoo on the inner arm, half hidden by the cuff. His hurt dropped to the floor. No coincidence, not anymore. Pain turned into anger, anger into fear, fear into the crushing reality that he may be living a nightmare, one written by the very two people he trusted most. He thought about all the times Sophia canceled plans last minute, all the times Ryan disappeared for hours without explanation, the nights Ethan confessed his worries to Ryan and was told to chill out, told he was imagining things. Was Ryan laughing the whole time? Was Sophia comforting herself in Ryan's arms while Ethan waited alone? A tremor ran through Ethan's body. He needed answers, proof, the truth that everyone else was pretending didn't exist. He wasn't going to be the fool anymore. The truth was coming, and he dreaded what he would find. Jake tried to hold himself together for days, hoping Lily would eventually tell the truth. He convinced himself there might be an explanation, a misunderstanding, a coincidence, anything. But deep down, his heart already knew something was terribly wrong. One night, as Lily slept beside him, her phone vibrated on the nightstand. A brief light illuminated the darkness, flashing the name Eric Love, his own brother's name. Jake's breath caught in his throat. That heart emoji? It wasn't normal. It wasn't innocent. His hand shook as he picked up the phone. His conscience screamed, "Don't look!" But curiosity, pain, and anger drowned out every voice inside him. The phone wasn't locked. Either Lily didn't expect to be caught, or she simply didn't care anymore. The conversation was long, flirty, and devastating. Messages about secret dates, private jokes he never heard, pictures Lily shouldn't be sending, plans that didn't include him. Worst of all, Eric knew. He knew exactly what he was doing. One text hit Jake harder than a punch. "He thinks you're working late tomorrow. I'll pick you up at 7. Jake felt the world collapse from under him. Not only was Lily lying, she planned to keep lying. The betrayal wasn't a moment of weakness. It was a pattern, a choice she made again and again. A storm of emotions erupted inside him. Heartbreak, confusion, and a rage he never knew he was capable of feeling. He wanted to scream. He wanted to wake her up and demand answers. But instead, he placed the phone back exactly where it was and stepped away quietly. That silence wasn't forgiveness. It was the moment he decided he'd no longer be the fool in their twisted game. Jake walked outside into the cold night air. It was freezing, but his heart burned hotter than fire. He stared up at the sky, wondering how the two people he loved most could destroy him together. His best friend, his brother, and the woman he thought he'd spend his life with. That night, Jake realized something painful. Sometimes the people closest to you are the ones who hold the deepest knives. He wiped his tears, drew a sharp breath, and whispered to himself, "This ends on my terms." The betrayal had been revealed. Now came the confrontation. The next morning, Jake couldn't wait any longer. He knew that avoiding the truth would only deepen the wound. Every step toward the apartment felt heavier than the last, his chest tight with anticipation and anger. When he reached the door, he paused, hands clenched into fists, and tried to steady his breathing. Inside, Lily was in the kitchen, humming softly as if the world hadn't shifted beneath his feet the night before. Her smile faltered the moment she saw him, the tension between them immediate and suffocating. "Jake, what are you doing here?" she asked, her voice trembling slightly. He didn't answer. Instead, he held out her phone, the evidence of every lie, every secret. She went pale, her lips parting as if she wanted to speak, but no words came. "You think you can just hide behind your excuses?" Jake's voice shook with a mix of heartbreak and fury. "I saw the messages, Lily. I know everything." Tears welled in her eyes, but she didn't deny it. Instead, she looked down, her silence louder than any confession. Then came the sound he dreaded, the front door opening. Eric stepped in, casual at first, but the guilt in his eyes betrayed him immediately. He knew Jake had found out. "What? Jake, we can explain," Eric began. "No!" Jake's voice thundered, shaking the walls. "There's nothing to explain. You two betrayed me, my trust, my love, everything I gave you, wasted." Lily tried to speak, but Jake turned to her, his gaze piercing. "You lied to me every single day. And you, Eric, my brother. I thought I knew you. I trusted you." The room fell silent, heavy with tension. Tears streamed down Lily's cheeks. Eric's face was pale, his jaw tight with shame. No excuses, no lies, only the truth, raw and undeniable. Jake's heart ached with every word he had wanted to scream for months. He realized the depth of the betrayal wasn't just about love, but about family, trust, and the foundation of his world being shattered. And yet, amidst the rage and hurt, something inside him shifted. He understood that the confrontation was necessary, painful as it was. It was the moment the lie could no longer exist, the moment he could reclaim his power. For the first time in weeks, he breathed fully. though his heart still hurt. The confrontation had broken everything, but it had also begun the path to healing, to standing up for himself, and to never being deceived again. Months passed since the confrontation. The wounds of betrayal still throbbed in Jake's chest, but with time came clarity, and with clarity came a newfound strength. The world that once felt small and cruel began to open up again. Jake threw himself into his own life, his passions, his career, his friendships. He no longer measured his happiness by someone else's actions or opinions. He started running every morning, feeling the crisp air push away the heaviness of the past. He reconnected with friends he had neglected, laughed more freely, and slowly, piece by piece, stitched his life back together. Meanwhile, Lily and Eric faded from his daily thoughts. The news of their eventual breakup reached him through mutual friends. It wasn't revenge, and it wasn't triumph. It was merely the inevitable collapse of something built on lies. The woman who had once held his heart and the brother he had trusted more than anyone were now distant memories. Jake felt no satisfaction in their downfall, only relief. He realized the greatest victory wasn't watching them fail. It was reclaiming his life, his peace, and his self-respect. The betrayal had been painful, yes, but it had also been a lesson he would carry forever. Never sacrifice your own worth for someone who doesn't value it. One quiet evening, Jake sat in his favorite park, watching the sunset paint the sky in warm oranges and pinks. He thought about love, real love, the kind that supports, respects, and uplifts. He understood now that his heart was capable of giving again, but this time it would be wiser, guarded yet open, ready for someone who deserved it. In that moment, he smiled, not with the naive hope of before, but with the deep, steady peace of someone who had survived heartbreak, betrayal, and disappointment. Jake had lost two people he thought he could never live without, his girlfriend and his brother. But in their absence, he had found something far more valuable, himself. And so, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the city, Jake whispered to no one in particular, "I am enough. And someday, love will find me again. The right love, the real love." The storm had passed. The pain remained, but it no longer defined him. With courage and self-respect, Jake walked forward, stronger, wiser, and ready for the next chapter of his life. Betrayal may have shattered his world, but truth, courage, and self-respect always prevail. Remember, no one can take your strength away. If you enjoyed the story, hit like, share, and subscribe for more emotional stories that touch the heart. Don't forget to turn on the bell icon to never miss a new story.